When you get a call from Netflix and they're keen on having you on board and you take your time, of course, because you're doing other things, and then 1.5 years you don't get that call again, तो आपको एक nervousness, कुछ डर नहीं लगता है कि यार ये project तो मेरे हाथ से अभी गया?
Actually, I was nervous that she called and offered. Because
Okay.
how do you say no to Monika?
Yes, yeah.
This was not a request. This was an order.
Not at all. Not at all. He's just Anubhav's craft and his understanding of this subject, the background, the way he approaches research. So that was just a perfect combination for me. And I just requested him and I said, this is truly something that you must not miss. We will really miss you on this if you
So
don't.
let's agree on it. She made it sound like a request.
अनुभव, is it irritating as a filmmaker जब लोग फोन पे देखेंगे या you have accepted it कि अभी यही दुनिया है, this is how people are going to watch?
Yes, it is a little bit unnerving and keeps bothering you at times. Sometimes when you're trying to set up a big shot and 150 people in front of you are giving their blood and sweat to create the shot that you want, and suddenly your mind meanders to the thought कि यार देखेंगे तो ये लोग tablet पर ही. So वो थोड़ा सा unnerving है.
It's a subject that everybody knows. It's a story that people are aware of. Vishal Bhardwaj was going to make this.
Vishal is a very dear friend. When I got to know that he was at some point interested, obviously we spoke about it. But I think Vishal would have made it better because I think he's a more accomplished. He's a better filmmaker than I am.
Anubhav Sinha, Monika, Shergill, good morning. And firstly, I have watched some of it. I am going to continue watching it. Very impressed with what you all have made yet again. Anubhav, complete faith in you, always had. Monika, what the content that you all make truly entertains us. So firstly, big congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Monika, this idea came to you way back. Can I take you back and you tell us, did you read the book and you thought this will be a good series? How did it take place?
Yeah, actually, Sarita and I were exploring. Sarita from the producer box.
Okay.
We were chatting about what kind of stories that I'm looking for, and that's when we discussed this book. And we both met Captain Devi Sharan, and we were convinced that we have to tell this story. I was actually very convinced that we want to tell world-class stories from India. Where a historical event which is of so much significance, not just for India as a country, but had so much significance from an international perspective, that story needed to come out to the audiences in all its, intensity, what it meant for people, the human cost of it, and the perspectives of all the people involved. I had called Anubhav very early on also when we were looking at this book and we were beginning to write. The writer Trishant Srivastav, who has done Jamtara for us and Chor Nikal Ke Bhaga, 2 hits, he was already on it. I was very, very keen from the get-go that Anubhav should do this, but he was acting extremely pricey.
I heard that, yes.
Always. And but he actually had his film roster, his entire calendar that he was working on. And also Anubhav can speak more to this, but I am going to say he was not convinced about doing the series format at that time.
Right.
So I did try to convince him, but I think that time was not the right time. But I do firmly believe that the right people come on to the right project at the right time. And that's exactly what happened. And I called him again one odd day, a year and a half, or I think even 2 years later. It worked out.
Anubhav, I also now that Monika is saying this, I also feel who better than Anubhav Sinha to make a subject like this. When you get a call from Netflix and they're keen on having you on board and you take your time, of course, because you're doing other things, and then 1.5 years you don't get that call again, तो आपको एक nervousness, कुछ डर नहीं लगता है कि यार ये project तो मेरे हाथ से अभी गया?
No. But at that point when we spoke first, at that point I was certain that I didn't want to do a series.
Okay.
Not this series. I didn't want to do a series. So no, I wasn't. Actually, I was nervous that she called and offered. Because how do you say no to Monika?
Yes. Yeah.
So, but later, 2 years later, like she said, even at that point, I was awfully convinced that I don't want to do a series. But this was not a request. This was an order.
Not at all. Not at all. He's just saying it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
I only told him that this kind of a story
Hmm.
doesn't happen every day. It's a
Yes.
very important subject, and it
Hmm.
needs his kind of experience, his mind, and what he could bring to it, and what our ambition as Netflix is for this series,
Right.
that, and with Anubhav's craft and his
Hmm.
understanding of this subject, the
Hmm.
background, the way he approaches research. So that was just a perfect combination for me. And I just requested him and I said, this is truly something that you must not miss. We will really miss you on this if you
So
don't.
let's agree on it. She made it sound like a request,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it was
Let's.
an order.
Anubhav, you're saying it so convincingly. I didn't want to do a series. Why? What is that about series that at that time you thought you're not ready to go into a series?
It's too much of a commitment.
Okay.
So even when I said, okay, I'll do IC 814, I thought I'll finish it in a year.
Hmm.
And but it ended up taking 2 years. It's actually
Right.
releasing exactly 20 in the 25th month.
Right.
But it's a different uh, television is a different space. It's
Hmm.
different writing, it's different shooting, it's different in every which way. Though
Right.
as filmmakers, you like to want to make it like cinema. You're looking at sound and you're looking at picture and looking
Hmm.
grading.
Hmm.
But there's a parallel dissuader that most of it will be watched on tablets and phones.
Right.
And then you say, why am I working so hard to make it look and sound like that? So it's a
Hmm.
different mindset. And
Right.
the last time I did television was 27 years back,
Wow. Yeah.
and I thought I was done with it. But it
Right.
was a wonderful experience.
Right, but then it's very interesting to know a filmmaker's perspective. Like Netflix had Hira Mandi. Every small detail on the sets, every costume, every button, every diamond, every earring. A filmmaker still goes ahead with it, knowing that people will watch on the phone. Anubhav, is it irritating as a filmmaker जब लोग phone पे देखेंगे? Yeah, you have accepted it कि अभी यही दुनिया है. This is how people are going to watch.
Yes, it is a little bit unnerving, and
Right.
Bhansali is obsessed with
Hmm.
that detail. So even if you
Correct.
put a gun to his head, he will not compromise on his detail.
Right.
So it doesn't matter who's going to watch it where.
Right.
But it keeps bothering you at times. Sometimes when
Hmm.
you're trying to set up a big shot and
Hmm.
150 people in front of you are giving their blood and sweat to create
Hmm.
the shot that you want, and
Hmm.
suddenly your mind meanders to the thought कि यार देखेंगे
Hmm.
तो ये लोग टैबलेट पर ही. So वो थोड़ा सा unnerving है,
हाँ.
लेकिन but it's I think the television today, OTT as we call it, uh, has different benefits and different ROIs that as
Yes.
a creator I haven't tasted because I've never
Yeah.
made one.
Hmm.
But I'm looking forward to it. Like the fact that once I was in Lisbon, I was mixing the series in Lisbon, and I was talking to Monica about something, and I asked her because my Lisbon friends were asking me, "Will it come in Portugal?" So I ended up asking Monica. I said, "Monica,
Hmm.
Portugal में release होगा क्या?" So she said, "Anubhav," and she was like almost offended. She said, "Anubhav, it's going to release in 180 countries." Now
Right.
that's a first for me.
More. Huh.
So she's saying more now. So
And
that's
also,
a
it's,
first for
it's
me.
available in Portuguese also,
Yeah.
dubbed. And so,
So these are the benefits of
Benefits.
being on Netflix that I'm so eagerly looking forward to. And
Right.
I'm not saying anxiously looking forward. I'm so
and
eagerly looking
Eager.
forward.
can I
Right.
just go back to what your question was, Rohit, and what Anubhav also shared? We have to remember that all the shoot happens in 4K Ultra HD.
Hmm.
So it's the best quality you can get. People choose to watch on the device that they want to. That choice is important to give. But Netflix world over is, a 10-foot experience. A lot of
Hmm.
people in India also experience Netflix on the 10-foot experience.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's a very important thing to consider. And also, I would say that if you look at theatrical cinema, also, a lot of our theatrical cinema is experienced on streaming now, or was experienced earlier on linear television, where the
TV.
quality
Right.
also used to be so low. Because
Hmm.
we know that barely 2% of people in the country have access to theaters, are able to either go or afford.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think there should be more theaters, more experiences where people can go for the big screen experience. But I think television world over, this long format, immersive storytelling in the highest quality, released all over the world at one go in multiple languages, subtitling, dubs, this has a very different kind of power, appeal, and pull for people.
Right. That is
Of course.
absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. No
I
doubt
can't
about that.
imagine with the it playing out in Portuguese or in French or
Hmm.
in German.
Ah.
I'm so waiting to hear it.
Right.
At the same
Right.
time,
Right.
This story does have a universal appeal. Like we were obviously kids watching it on BBC and CNN when this was happening. Why has it taken so long for such a big story to come into series? We've seen so many that have recent events make it really quick. Why has this taken so long? Anyone, whoever would like to answer this?
I want to
I
ask
wouldn't know.
Anubhav a
Yeah.
question here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you ever think that this could make a film since
No.
you made the series? Exactly. That's
No. It's
Why,
this
Anubhav?
doesn't
Like, why would you not think this
this
would be a
story
film?
doesn't fit into 2 hours.
Okay,
And it wasn't so that we spoke approximately how many episodes we'll do, but I could have done five, I could have done seven, and Netflix wouldn't say a word.
right.
But it became six because the story landed in six,
Okay, okay.
and it could not have been any less because there is so much detail. And I would like to address a small little issue here that most people think that they know the story,
Right.
but even I went into the research thinking I knew the story, but I came out like an absolutely ignorant man,
Really?
and I said,
Wha-
"Whoa!"
Like, could you give me an example of what you didn't know that you found out while filming this? Like,
There is three things an episode. I wouldn't want to spoil it for the
sure,
audience,
sure.
but
Yeah.
once you start watching it, you will
Okay.
know that like if you want to know personally off the
Hmm.
record, I can tell you because you've seen some. The entire can I speak off record?
I mean, you can do have. I mean, you can trust us completely if you would like to.
No.
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I would love to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not asking Monica. I'm asking you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like the investigation in Kathmandu was almost catching up. Was a surprise to me, and there is more to it coming up.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So there
That's a
is
very
too
interesting.
many things
Yeah.
that were extremely surprising. Also, we
Okay.
never saw the event in the perspective of the recent environment.
Right.
So the moment you start juxtaposing it with what happened a year back, or 6 months back, or 2 months back, then suddenly the whole story has a very new view.
Wow.
and
That
also
makes it.
if I can share besides Rohit the fact what Anubhav said, like he rightly said, as a filmmaker, such a senior filmmaker,
Hmm.
he could not look at the subject and think that that the story could be contained in a film format.
Right.
Uh, that is absolutely true, and it needed a
Hmm.
series format, which has only now begun to happen with the
Right.
streaming space. And
Right.
also, I would say that another thing which is very fascinating is the
Huh.
number of sides to the story that he
Hmm.
brought on and uncovered during his research, the different perspectives, what was happening in different countries, what was happening in the government, what was happening in the plane, what was
Hmm.
happening
Hmm. Hmm.
in the newsrooms. And when you look at all of this, it is just a 360 perspective on a story, and there might yet be. We think this is all of it. There
Right.
might be so many more, but I think the series packs in so much of punch, of thrill, of all these multiple, action happening across multiple spaces to really tell you a hijack story in a way that hasn't been told before.
Okay, okay. Again, it's a subject that everybody knows. It's a story that people are aware of. Anubhav, like there will always be filmmakers somewhere wanting to make it, somewhere planning to make it. We all know Vishal was, Mr. Vishal Bhardwaj was going to make this. Do you all talk to each other so that we don't land in a situation where there are four Bhagat Singh movies coming and one ends up doing well? Did you have a word would you like to chat with Vishal about it if he's filming it or something, Anubhav?
Vishal is a very dear friend, and
Right.
so we meet often, and we
Okay.
often have dinners, and he's a neighbor.
Okay.
So he knows. I didn't know when I took it up,
Right.
but when I got to know that he was at some point interested, I mean, obviously we spoke about it, but I think Vishal would have made it better because I think he's a more accomplished. He's a better filmmaker than I am.
Right. We are fans of both of you, so I can't say any of that. Monica, you want to tell people when an idea comes, like at some point, it could take years and years for it to really reflect on screen. Why does it take that long? Like,
Actually, that's a great question, Rohit. We would want to bring out the ideas as soon as possible, but there's a
right,
journey that you need to cover.
right.
At the heart of it is writing. Writing is the most important thing on streaming.
Hmm.
And I feel very good when I say that because um, the way people experience stories on streaming is slightly different from the way they experience in cinema or the linear television. Linear
Hmm.
television you can watch while you're doing jobs at home.
Right.
It's playing in the background. You'll tune into some parts of it. The story will not move at a pace where you'll feel you missed something.
Hmm.
In cinema, uh, it's like an event, an evening out, or a day plan that you've made, and it's like an entertainment excursion that you make, where you're stepping out, where when the movie will start playing, a lot of people will come in late. Some people will be running in with their drinks and their popcorn, everything. It'll take time for things to settle, and
Right.
because you're in a large space together, there'll be certain things in the storytelling that you'll need to do where you start probably slower so people don't miss the top half,
Hmm.
the first few minutes, and then certain things where you allow for a collective, experience of something, whether from a comedy or drama
Right.
perspective or a song, lighter moments where you're not,
Hmm.
it's not a lean in watch. Streaming
Right.
is very lean in watch. Yes, there is lean back watch also on streaming, but
Hmm.
because it's a lean in watch, the writing is very intense, the cast, the creator's vision to it, how we
Hmm.
as a streaming platform support it through the entire journey, how you
Hmm.
plan the launch of it so that you really reach out to the correct audiences, set it up in
Right.
the right way. Shoot is in fact, because it's series, shoot takes longer.
Right.
Most of it is a certain way. We also try to get very good HODs for every
Hmm.
part of it. So it
Hmm.
is a journey, and where IC 814 is concerned, it started pre-pandemic. So also that bit
Hmm.
was a complex show to make. So that took a little longer also.
Right. Anubhav, your answer will help a lot of storytellers. How is casting done for something like this? क्योंकि this can't afford to have कि ये available नहीं है तो इसको ले लिया. How did you do casting for this?
That's a very utopian way to look at it. You do in the biggest of films,
Right.
you do end up casting the next best alternative. But it was quite serendipitous in this case that everyone we wanted was willing
Wow.
and available, and ended up giving his or her 100, 200%. That is quite serendipitous. I don't know if I can pull this off again, but it's magic. When I was with them on set, every single day, different setups, as you may have seen that it's different sets of characters at different places. It was quite magical to have them on set, and I was having a ball.
Right, it's showing. Monica, last question to you. Do you see this having a lot of interest in your international markets? And we don't get to chat with you every day. So, what is it that we should look forward to on Netflix in 2024? What are you looking forward to?
I would truly hope that it has, that kind of footprint and
Hmm.
impact in the international market, because it's a very important story.
Right.
And there is a before of the story and there is an
Hmm.
after of the story,
Hmm.
which are equally important, which have been touched upon. And Anubhav has brought his, sort of unique thinking and vision to
Hmm.
that also, the way he's put the cast together. You don't see it in India that even for smaller roles, that
Hmm.
such powerful actors will come. There are so many that you haven't even seen, who, when
Right.
you see in the show, I mean, you've
Right.
seen a bit and you'll be surprised, oh my God, this person did this role. But all of them, and credit to Anubhav, all of them wanted to be a part of this defining series on Netflix, and the belief and faith that all of us had. If I look at what's to come, we have a
Yeah.
lot of exciting things coming. Actually, I
Hmm.
think if I can say this with great humility, we really feel that as a team, our passion to bring the best stories, we've been working at it. So we have a lot of great stuff coming, and I think we've kind of hit a groove. So we have Sector 36 coming,
Yes, I've
which is
seen that. Yeah.
headlined by Vikrant Masi, very powerful film. We have
Right.
Ananya Pandey's Control coming.
Yeah.
We have our returning fan favorites, which will come over the next few months, from Khaki to Rana Naidu to Ye Kali Kali Aankhein, which is a pulpy action thriller.
Yes. Hmm.
Then we have Neeraj Pandey's directorial debut happening, his film Sikandar Ka Mukaddar, which is a very powerful heist thriller. We have Fabulous Lives of Bollywood Wives, but again,
Yes.
Delhi Wives this time. Delightful, delicious season that'll be
Right.
coming. And we have announced Royals, which is our wonderful romance, series. So a lot of very jewel thief that we have. So a lot of interesting things that are planned. And of course, Kapil Sharma is coming for a season 2 very soon.
So much and all at the tip of your tongue. That is itself impressive. Thank you for entertaining us. Anubhav, thank you for entertaining us. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Rohit.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.